Hey everybody, Sean here. Hope you enjoyed that little intro thing to my 2x2 spruce tree farm. So I've been spending the last 2 months about designing this, like, on and off, you know what I mean? And I'm pretty happy with it. So first thing I really want to say is it is not meant to be fast. Like, it's okay, like, it produces a lot of wood, but it's nowhere near the fastest. It's nowhere near even the slower ones. This is kind of this is quite a slow one, to be honest. But that wasn't what I was focusing on, because you know, making the fastest one is the generic thing to do, but making one that's easy to build is a different story. As you can see here, this is very simple to build. There's no complex redstone. Only thing that's like here is like instant repeaters. Literally the most complicated thing here. That's why I'm using observers to make double piston extenders to break the leaves, since they're so simple. And the layout you can see here. When this pushes, so I use the observers here, but the problem with that is the piston drops its block. But I have it so that these pistons activate, after these come out, so it reactivates it again, pulling back in the block, and then it can retract. So that sped it up quite a bit when I was going through my first prototype. So here it uses 6 withers that can destroy. Is like at one time they destroy 16 blocks at once. As I use double piston extenders here to push in 8 logs, and there's 2 sides to it, so 16. So that allows me to only have to use 6 withers to harvest 24 high parts of the tree, since there is not much point going any higher. Like, one more wither and I could harvest the entire tree, but it wouldn't really be worth it for the amount of redstone you have to put in. Like, the lag just wouldn't compensate for the amount of wood you get. So I didn't try to make this super lag friendly or anything. Like, it's not bad, but it could be a lot better, probably. Like I said, my first design, so yeah. But I damaged the withers using arrows, or you could use snowballs as well. But I did that because the pushing in the blocks wasn't as reliable with this wither cage. I've tested this wither cage on what is it? I think it's always at like 10 TPS prototech creative server, and it was fully reliable, so that's pretty good. So I'm holding down the boats, and as you can see, the wither has its 2 head targets with the iron golems, which is pretty good. So it's always shooting its skulls at them, and then the 2 get pushed in from the side, get damaged, and it blows them up. So that's a pretty nice way of doing it. It saves on a lot of redstone instead of pushing it into bedrock wither cages or pushing it into TNT jupers. A lot less complicated to build as well. Obviously it's a bit more expensive, but like, if you're building this, I don't think wither skulls are going to be that much of a problem. Probably playing enough. But down here we can see I detect the tree growth with the generic bud. Literally only thing in here that I had to rip from something else, really. For those of you who know, this is somewhat this front part here is somewhat inspired by the Zip Crowd tree farm. They had 7 withers, and I'd say that I think they only had 3 going into each though, but I was able to get 4. But a really simple double piston extender. This just uses an observer to push to activate the pistons. So very simple design. Down in the description I will have a schematic, and I will have a MBT for a structure block. So you just turn on entities and load it, and then that'll load in the farm fully functional. So you can use schematic if you want or something, but yeah, it's all fully functional then. Actually, it's not. It's missing 1 piece of redstone right here, but that will be fixed in the description. Okay, that's one thing I need to remember to do. But over here, I'll show you how I set up the wither cages. So we can see over here that. So actually, I better show this first. If we check out the chunk borders right here, I managed to fit the entire wither cages into 2 chunks which is pretty good. So I had to squeeze the iron golems quite close to each other. Now I could have this this golem right beside here, but then he'd take damage from the skulls, which we don't want, because if he dies, then we're gonna run into problems. But we're okay for now. But as you can see, I had to cramp the golems quite close together, but it's okay because it works. And that's why they're so close together. And the withers are in here. I could probably have brought the whole thing forward one more, but this works, so it's fine. I didn't need to, like. So let's turn back off the chunk borders, but make sure as well, actually, that this is in the same chunk, because if it's not, then this is not reliable whatsoever. It's like 99% reliable. It's pretty reliable unless you set it up wrong. It's reliable, I'm pretty sure. Like, I've done a lot of testing, but yeah, unless you set it up wrong, it should be fully reliable once they're in the same chunk. So that's one thing to be really careful of. So what you do is I have a hopper minecart inside this block here, and I have hoppers going around and in between the walls. And I have a wall going around here. Let me just place that in so that I can place water up here that will wash the blocks off the cobblestone walls into the minecart, or into the hopper minecart, or into the hoppers. So then how I place in the wither is I have a slab and I have some boats. I'll get the soul sand and the heads as well. There's the, oh no, it's skull. There we go. So come up 3 blocks and place a slab, and I need to drop all the boats on top of that. So just drop in 1, drop in 2, and drop in the 3rd, and then, oh wait, that hitbox is caught on one of the walls. There we go. Oops. And then let me go back. There we go. Then I need to push this back in by using a piston. So just grab a piston and redstone. There we go. So the only reason I'm using the very small GUI is because the withers take up a lot of the screen otherwise, because it's a lot of withers. But yeah, just push this back in on top of the boats, and that'll hold that down. And then you're gonna want to break these 3 blocks, set up a little thing like this so that the wither cannot get out. Actually, like this, and then like that. And then you should be able to summon him in under here, and place water on his head like that. And then you need to get out of the area so that he doesn't see you and pick you as a target. We want him to pick the iron golems as a target. So then once he's spawned, you can come close again, and you're going to want to just damage him using a snowball or something, and that will set it up properly. And you want to do it quickly as well before it destroys the boats using his skulls. But then you come in and place down the water, and you have the fully functioning wither cage. You see, then I push in the blocks here and here, and then we'll see here if I just place in a few and just damage him again with a snowball. You see, that's more or less what happens, and it all comes out in the hoppers then. It's pretty good. So that's the wither cage. That's how you set that up. And then you can probably bring this back into one storage. I just have one on either side. Pretty simple. Return of saplings is quite good. You do get profit of saplings. It's not, like I said, not the most lag friendly thing, but I can run it 20 TPS, which is pretty good. It's around 50 game ticks to harvest a full tree, because, and then like, yeah, you understand. It's just the extending the observers slowed down. That's really the main reason this is so slow. But like I said, it's really easy to build. So that was what I was really going for. That, like, as you can see, there's repeaters here. This could be made so much faster without repeaters and without the observers, but it works perfectly for what most people will want, and you shouldn't need Schematica to make it. That was what I was really going for. You don't need Schematica. But that is my first ever first ever full like farm designed by myself from scratch. I'm pretty proud of it. I hope you enjoyed. Remember, speed is not what I was going for. On purpose, I was not going for speed. I knew that from the start. So I hope I didn't bore you to death. As most people watching probably like understand what I'm on about. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you, I suppose, if I ever make another design or something. I'll see you my next tree farm design, because it's only uphill from here. So thanks for watching.